surrender and going with the flow are considered. Now, when we say masculine, feminine, we're not saying masculine is good, feminine is bad, or feminine is good, and masculine is bad.
Correct.
Within us, there's feminine and masculine, all of us, women and men. Just women are going to naturally be happier using the feminine, more of it. Hear about who you are, what's going to go. Is there anything better? There's nothing better than what I want, because I've calculated it and I've measured it and I know this is what I want. But I'm so open to flow and surrender to different things. Today, I believe that there is a higher knowledge than that is in our minds. Like, our mind is a tool, a glorified tool for a lot of reasons, because it's exceptional and amazing, but it's not all that's out there. There is infinite knowledge somewhere else. So even though I think this is what I want, maybe this is not the best option for me. Maybe it's something I don't know anything about that's the best option.
We have an expert with us today. She began her journey as a banker and worked in treasury and capital markets for the first 9 years of her career. She is a prestigious and stylish award-winning businesswoman from the Kingdom of Bahrain. She has a bachelor's degree in commerce from Concordia University in Canada and an MBA from the University of Glamorgan in the United Kingdom. She discovered that entrepreneurship was her true calling and quit her job in finance to launch multiple enterprises, run the family business, and manage the family investments. The trade of light fittings is one of her family's industries. She developed a passion for lighting design after joining that company and started a section that provides lighting design services. She also oversees the real estate and trading businesses run by her family. Through professional leadership networks, she has also coached other business owners. She is a board member in the Bahrain Stock Exchange. The Bahraini Female Entrepreneur Honor Seal has been presented to her by the Queen of Bahrain. She is none other than Deena Ansari, an entrepreneur who successfully runs her business in the beauty industry with her best friend and business partner, Soha Sawan. Please join me to welcome Deena. Thank you, Deena. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for your time. I'm so grateful.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited about having this time with you.
Thank you. So let's start with your early days and your journey in finance. Tell us a little about that and about your contribution in your family business and what led to finally getting you to start your own business.
Okay. So I was just living a normal life of being programmed. You go to school, so you get good grades, so you get in a good college, so that you get a good job. Although I was part of a family business, I followed that same traditional mentality that people had. Never questioned, what do I want to do? And then when college time came, I was thinking, what do I want to study? And the first answer was like, what does Bahrain need? Do they need bankers? Do they need, and at that time, management information systems was a big thing, which is computers and business. So I studied that for the sole reason that that was the thing that people said would get me that amazing job. Not that I needed the amazing job. I should have thought I could have. I had options basically. But although there were options whether to work in the family business or to work, I wanted to do what everybody else did. Never asked myself, what do I want to do? So I got into banking, had a beautiful career in banking, left banking as vice president. I was running 2 countries. I was very successful at it. What happened at that time is that I was challenged. I didn't have time, because I was a workaholic, working very long hours in the bank. I didn't have time to do my nails. And by the time I left the bank, staying till 8 and 9, all the nail bars were closed. So I was like, I went to my best friend at the time, who was also a banker with me. And I'm like, Zah, you want to just open a mobile spa, a spa that comes to you wherever you are? Let's do that, because now women are working and they could come and do it for us. So we went on a journey, her and I, thinking it's just a spa, because she's in like risk management and she's also running a division in risk management and like doing her CFA and like really hardcore banking. I'm doing the same, but we thought it's just a spa. When we started creating the spa, the process of creation, selection, and then best practices and understanding that every industry, it's just a spa. Every industry has its own set of best practices and things that are amazing about it. We got so passionate, we created this amazing spa. And then we looked around, we're like, we hate our banking jobs, we hate going to work and doing this. And that was the first time I stopped after all these years and asked myself, what do I want to do? And I realized there's an entrepreneur within me. There's a person that wants to create businesses, that wants to expand them, that wants to create value. And that's how I went from that journey to this one. And it started with the spa. But then, since then, we've started a distribution company that we opened in Bahrain, then we opened in Dubai, then we opened in Saudi, then we opened in Kuwait, and we're still expanding it. And then even that grew a bit, and we started creating our own brands and selling our brands just locally. So it's every day we're creating something new.
So now, where does your heart and your love lie?
In my own business. It's where I can create whatever I want without restrictions, but I also work in the family business and I also have responsibilities, but I do it from a responsibility perspective, which is okay,
Absolutely.
Life is not all play, but my business is a place of play and enjoyment and fun and
creation
and creation. It's where I'm happy.
So what all does Beauty & Co offer services-wise?
So we're a distribution company for B2B. So we sell to all the major spas and salons in the GCC, and we sell to retailers. That's the beginning. And then later on, we realized we were just distributors bringing in brands and creating awareness for them. And then we were like, why aren't we creating our own brands? And then we started creating our own brands. We manufacture in Brazil, we manufacture in Italy, we manufacture in different places. And recently, because I've changed my path in life and I've taken a more of a spiritual path. I create products with the mission, with my sole purpose in them. So the current product line that we've created, which is simply Divine Hair, even its name has meanings to me when it comes to my purpose, is created to support underprivileged children and their mothers, because that brings a lot of joy to me. And I want everything I touch to be part of that. So my business, my life, everything.
So Simply Divine is a product that you will sell to different spas?
Yeah.
And the proceeds from it will go to underprivileged?
Yeah, part of the proceeds, because I have a business partner and I can't be like, now we're still a business, but part of it. But
yes,
it was created with that intention. And Soha and I have decided that every single product we create from now on, every brand we create, is going to have a purpose. It's going to have to be whether it's her purpose in life or my purpose in life, but it has to be one of us.
That's beautiful. So you're part of the greater contribution in the economy. That's so humble and
I'm
so
not doing
beautiful.
it for marketing, which is so nice. I do it because it actually brings me joy. I look in that account and I try to see how much is there, how much has been collected for that purpose. And it's so nice. I could do it on my own, but I want my business to contribute. I want every part of my life to contribute, separately and together.
That's amazing. Wow, well done. And where else are you contributing to yourself and to the community? I know we've had so many conversations. I want to know more about your personal journey, about your growth.
My personal journey. So, how I got on a spiritual path?
Yes.
This was right before COVID. So it's been 3 years. I was on a very conquering space, like let's open in Saudi, we go open, let's open in Kuwait. I was all excited about expansion, opening and numbers and stuff. And I was in that energy most of my life. Like when I was a banker, I used to work very long hours and it's all about the achievement and the doing. It's never about the being. And I used to think of people who say I meditate and I'm being, and I'm like, you're wasting your life. You've got very little time, get up there and do things that matter. And to me at that time, what mattered is how much sales have I done? What have I achieved? And it's things I can write, not a meditation or a connection. Anyway, while I was in that space, I always used to do sessions with different teachers. There's this guy called J.D. Thomas. He does breath work. I was in Bahrain, and I've done a few sessions with him. And then he looks at me and he's like, Deena, work on your feminine energy. And I remember at that time thinking, what's he talking about? I wear heels that hurt my back. I wake up early morning and do my hair. I put on makeup. I wear skirts. What is he talking about? So there was a part of me that was like taken back and offended. Like, but I'm the one that got it all sorted out. I have my business running. I have this, I have that. What are you talking about? Anyway, I ignored it. Then COVID came and slammed us all, into sitting at home and doing nothing and having time to reflect on life. And that sound of JD's voice saying this to me kept coming up. So I went online and I started looking up what is feminine energy, what is masculine energy. And I looked at the characteristics of the feminine, the characteristics of the masculine. characteristics of the masculine, strategy, control, conquering, getting things done, the doing. Every one of them, I could put a tick next to. I am so those energies, that's how I live my life. Then I looked at the feminine energies and I'm like, none, not a single one I could relate to. Like going with the flow, being intuitive, connecting to your feelings. Feelings are a weakness. I remember at the time when I used to write emails and I say, for example, I feel we should hire this person, I'd look at the word feel and feel like, oh my God, why am I saying feel? That's such a weakness. Remove it and say, I think. There's so much in my head, less in my heart. And I wanted to be presented that way. So that surprised me, that there was this different thing and that I had none of those and all of those, and I'm in a female body, Right. So I decided, okay, let me see if there are anybody that teaches this stuff, especially that COVID gave us the time. I look and I find so many, like this whole community online of women that teach divine feminine energy or feminine energy. And I'm like, what? There's a whole world out there. So I go and I look at them and I'm like, now how do I choose? I have time. I'm curious. And there was no best practice, there's nothing. There was no track records, there was no references, there's nothing of the world I understand for me to be able to select. So I'm like, okay, this feminine energy thing has intuition as part of it. So let me try to use intuition. I used to be very against intuition, like facts, numbers, track records, projections. These are the things you make decisions with. What is a gut feeling?
Yeah, that's what they teach us. That's what they teach us in business school. That's what they teach us when we join a business. Like, it's all about the masculine energy, if we are saying in our language, but it's all about, the facts, the numbers, the proofs, the how things have been going. People are never talking about the heart.
Never. And what's sad as well is that not only do they not talk about it, they undermine it. It's like, oh yeah, of course, she's a woman, she's emotional, she's going to make the wrong decisions. And there are reasons why. When you suppress something so much, of course, when you express it not in the best way. So it's been looked down upon. It's like me when I was writing an email, and if I find that I wrote I feel, I remove that, and I'm like, I think. Think is powerful. I feel is weakness. So we've associated weakness with the feminine, which is so sad. We've associated weakness with vulnerability, with a lot of different things, so which are superpowers if we know how to tap into them properly.
I agree.
I know you do, and I love that about you. We had that conversation before. I'm like, you get it, because a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? Go back, because society does not accept this whole. It's a very masculine society. So. And women get trapped into wanting to fit in and wanting to become and act like a man so that they get accepted. And one of the things that I feel very strongly about now is that I hope women understand that there is a different way to live, and it is a very powerful way to live, and you do achieve so much in life, So when I was looking at who do I work with, I had nothing except, I was like, okay, let me try intuition. So I opened all their faces on different tabs on my browser. These teachers that would teach feminine energy, which I rolled my eyes as I was doing it. I'm like, just sounds so. And then I looked at them and I stopped at one, and there was just a sense that this one, there was no logic, there was no facts, there was no information, there was nothing, it was just this one. And I contacted her, and the day I met her, it was just magical. She's changed everything about. She always says, I've changed me, because we only change ourselves. But she's guided me, helped me, and showed me. So it started with the connecting to the feminine energies. But then I went into a lot of different things, and more of a spiritual path, which combines both. But I see that there's a lack when it comes to the feminine energy.
So tell us a little bit more for people who don't know about this. And how did this feminine energy help you become as successful as you are? I think that's the key, that people want to take away, because even for me, when I joined the family business, I was scared to show my female energy or feminine energy. I was scared. I thought I had to be like my father. And I didn't know if I could be myself. But it was only with a lot of practice, a lot of learnings, a lot of reading, a lot of meditation that I started gaining authentic power for me to be me, and to be able to speak and say that we will lead this business with the heart. And we do that now. So tell us a little bit about your journey so people can understand more.
Okay, so I'll give you an example of, surrender and going with the flow are considered. Now, when we say masculine, feminine, we're not saying masculine is good, feminine is bad, or feminine is good, and masculine is bad.
Correct.
Within us, there's feminine and masculine, all of us, women and men. just women are going to naturally be happier using the feminine, more of it. But today I wear different hats. Like at times when I want to, for example, I'm going to a meeting. I'm going to prepare for the meeting with a masculine hat, which is I'm going to look at the facts, the numbers, I'll track the results, I'll do everything. But when I go to the meeting and I'm there, I put on a different hat, a surrender, a going with the flow. I'm not, so an example. In the past, it used to be, this is, if I go to a business meeting, this is what I want, and this is what I want, and I'm going to make it happen. Like, that's it. I don't care about who you are, what's going to go. Is there anything better? There's nothing better than what I want, because I've calculated it and I've measured it and I know this is what I want. So now I go to a meeting and I'm like, this is what I want. I use my masculine, this is what I want. But I'm so open to flow and surrender to different things. Today I believe that there is a higher knowledge than that is in our minds. Like our mind is a tool, a glorified tool for a lot of reasons, because it's exceptional and amazing, but it's not all that's out there. There is infinite knowledge somewhere else. So even though I think this is what I want, maybe this is not the best option for me. Maybe it's something I don't know anything about that's the best option for me. So when I sit in that meeting, I'm not rigid, I'm not this, I'm gonna conquer, I'm gonna have this exactly the way I want it. I flow. And so there's this
you're
surrender.
open and you're softer and you're like surrender, like
surrender and flow are like really, because there's trust that it's not what it's on. It doesn't have to feel good to be going right. That's one thing I've learned in the journey as well. Before, so I could be sitting there in the meeting thinking I'm losing everything. I'll give you an example. Before we did Simply Divine Hair, which is the brand that we have now, our company didn't used to sell hair products before. And we decided to go the route of distribution. We had a company that came in, we were going to work with them, distribute their products. We had agreements, things, I'm not going to get into the details, but after investing in the brand, they had changed some of the terms and it was just not worth. I felt cheated, I felt betrayed, I was very angry. The way I reacted to that, in the past, I'd be like, my lawyer, I'm gonna make this happen and I'm gonna show
go to court,
and nobody can do this to us and I'm gonna show them how. I was not in that space. First, before I surrendered and I went with the flow, which is accepting that we're not gonna be working with these people and we're losing that money. Before that, I felt my feelings, which was something else that I learned. Like we do so much in suppressing our feelings. I'm okay, it doesn't bother me, I'm fine. That's not a healthy way of being. Feelings are emotions, they're supposed to be in motion. They're supposed to come, hit us and go. When we are resisting them, we're sitting there putting so much effort and resisting the feeling. I'm fine. You're not fine. But I'm fine, I'm okay. And I'm pretending. So I'm sitting this whole time pretending that I'm fine when I'm not. Do you know how much energy that takes out of us?
I can imagine.
Versus, okay, now this thing happened. I feel betrayed. I feel like I made the wrong decision. I feel like I went into, and I remember my business partner was with me when we got the news. And I was like, Suha, I'll go feel my feelings and I'll come back. And that's my language now. That's her language with me since we've learned. So I'm going to go feel my feelings. I honor my feelings because I think feelings are a superpower today. Intuition is part of feelings. It's a superpower. So I went into my room and I sat and I felt, I didn't sit and think about the story or they did this or I should have done this, I shouldn't have done that. No, because I have a complete belief that what is happening is exactly what's supposed to happen. Because I've surrendered, because I have trust in higher powers that are more than my brain and what it thinks. So I sat and I felt all the uncomfortable feelings. And I did a lot of work with my teacher on this, like really. And after I felt them, they passed. And after I felt them, I was able to think logically. So we sat, then I went back to my business partner. I'm like, okay, so the universe is telling us to change or
the
go
partnership
out, or change path. That's why you get snapped. I'm sorry, you're like, no, not this way. You're going this way. You think that's where you're going to get the best result. Maybe the best result is there. And then we sat and thought about everything we've learned in the process and how now we've become mini experts in here because of this brand. And then I'm like, maybe we should create our own brand. And that's how Simply Divine started. Wow. And this whole product, today I'm so grateful we didn't end up working with them because we're creating something so big and so much better. And it feels like that brand has a soul, which When I talk like this, I know because I used to be the business person that doesn't talk this language, the language of love, the language of surrender and flow and soul and the universe and their higher powers that know what's best for me. I used to undermine conversations like that. So when I'm talking, sometimes I wonder about the people who watch me, and I can see people roll their eyes. And it's nice because I feel like I need to talk because I've lived that life and I've lived this life. So I need to be the person saying it. So.
Correct.
So yeah, there are a lot of things.
So what is the difference between those two lives, I want to ask?
Oh my God, bliss. Bliss is the difference. People are telling me, like, it's not happiness, because happiness is just one wave of life. You're like, when you live life, it's like the ocean, and then there are waves. There are ups and downs. There's happiness, there's sadness, and that's the nature of life. But when you're in the space, it's like you're at the base of the ocean. The base of the ocean, no matter how volatile the ocean is on the top, when you go to the base, it's so still. That space of stillness that I can find myself in has given me clarity on everything in life. And to me, that's bliss, because even when something bad happens, like, for example, that brand that I was talking about, and different things, instantly you find that I understand that I'm on top of the mu'hadi, and then I go and feel my feelings, whatever, and go back to my center. And that's a space of bliss for me. Like, I can't begin to tell you. And then strange things happen, and they're not strange anymore because I laugh. The opportunities that come by, the people that want to work with us, the things that are, and you're like, I created you.
Yeah. So basically, you open up more doors when you operate from the place of surrender and flow, and I would say love.
Love. Because there's two ways to live in life. You either live in fear or you live in love.
Or love, yes.
Yeah. Love, faith is a flavor of love. So I always, like, there are all these other flavors, trust and faith, and all of them are flavors of love. Yeah.
Wow.
And then everything else, it's fear. So a lot of times we do things because we are, like, for example, I don't want to do public speaking. Not because people laugh at me, because I'm scared people will laugh at me if I say something wrong. It's always fear. So fear will always be the underlying, and love will be so. It's a space. There's a superpower to love. I swear, it's crazy.
I agree. I think love is the highest energy, and when we operate from love in business, at any kind of work we do, at home, the outcome is love, because we are reflecting love. We are made of love, and love comes back to us.
Yeah. So love is abundance. Love is opportunities, alignments with people that are like doing what you're doing. The people that I'm working with now in the past 3 years are just so different than the people I used to work with. I was challenged by this person, because I had the person that I gave the example of, and that happened like 2 years ago. But that was the beginning of my journey. That was when I was shifting. But since I've shifted, they drop. The things that are not in that frequency of love that I'm in, they can't stay around me for too long. Before, I was attracting them because I lived in fear, in wanting to be accepted by people outside of myself. And talking about love, I spent so much time in my journey, because I'm still working with my teacher. It's been 3 years. But I think the first 6 months was only about self-love, which is...
I wanted to get to that. What is your definition of self-love?
Self-acceptance, really, the way you are. Like, there's nothing wrong with improving ourselves. There's nothing wrong with wanting to lose weight, with wanting to, whatever it is, like, dye white hair that's on the head if there is white hair. There's nothing wrong with that. But it needs to be first from a place of acceptance. And a lot of times we're in a space of rejection of ourselves. And that is just such a, I used to live in that space. So
and how do you move? How do you move from that place of rejecting yourself, or, judging yourself all the time, to loving yourself? Because I was actually explaining this to my daughters yesterday in the night. We watched this movie, Tall Girl, and it's all about how tall she is and how she's rejecting herself. So I'd love for you to tell us, since you've experienced this.
It's with the magic recipe, love, really. So then I'll tell you how.
How do you convert it?
Yes, I'll tell you a practice. I'll tell you a practice that she taught me at the very beginning when we first started. So Nandini is her name, my teacher, the feminine energy teacher. And then I started working with her husband, who does more of a spiritual. So it's just been a beautiful journey for me. I'm so grateful to both of them. So Nandini, when we first started working, she realized that the voice in my head was a very, very mean voice, like constantly, from the moment I wake up in the morning, because she was asking me questions, till the second I go to sleep. There's always either attacking myself, I don't like my skin, I don't like my hair, I don't like Okay, or I'm attacking my decisions, my abilities. Why did I hire this person? Why did I go into business with that person? I don't know what I'm doing. I pretended to the outside world that I was okay and everybody was clapping for me. But inside, there was this no self-love, no self-acceptance, from physical to mental to everything. And she gave me a little exercise. She's like, okay, that voice in your head, what do you do to it usually? I'm like, so if I have the voice that says your hair is horrible, I usually look at in the mirror and say, Deena, you are so ungrateful. There are people that are bald, you have hair, and I attack myself because I should be grateful. Now, that's a horrible way of using a very powerful thing, which is gratitude, which I use in my practices now, and it elevates me, which is another flavor of love. But I use it to attack myself. So it's not really gratitude that I'm doing. It's the opposite of self-love. So I'm like,
so it's like tough love kind of a thing.
And it's not love at all.
It's not love at all.
Because it's like not accepting parts of you that, so what she told me, she's like, that voice, that's a voice of pain. The voice that says your hair is horrible to you is a voice of pain. It's not a voice that is trying to destroy you. There's hurt within you that believes that. So what do we do if there's a kid that's in pain and they've done something wrong? They fell, but now they're in pain. What do you do to them? You scream at them? I'm like, no. I'm like, I'll take care of them. They fell, So she's like, okay, here's the practice. Give me a name that's funny. And I'm like, a name that's funny? She's like, yeah, we want to put the energy of joy into it. I'm like, Zabur, which is a cartoon character from the time I was a child. Okay. So I'm like, Zabur. And every time I say Zabur, I smile. And she's like, I want a name that makes you smile. Okay. And she's like, every time you hear that voice in your head, first identify it with Zabur. It's not you, it's Zabur, the voice of pain within you. So I'd say, Zabur, I love you, you're welcome to stay, but right now I'm gonna go do this, whatever it is that I'm doing. So what did I do? I gave that voice of pain, first it's not me, it's not me, a name that makes me smile. So all of a sudden, from the energy of, my hair is horrible, to the energy of Zabur, and I'm smiling, so I changed my energy. So Zabur, I love you. So I gave it love because really it's really the secret weapon that people are not using enough.
Absolutely.
And I wish I could get people, because the sad thing about this work is that you have to do it for yourself, to embody it, to understand it. To hear it, it's like, it's everywhere. The knowledge I'm saying is everywhere.
Correct.
People need to embody. So Zabur, I love you. You're welcome to stay. And then you distract yourself with whatever else you're doing. Love and then acceptance. Because what's self-love? It's self-acceptance.
So I want to go to, being a successful entrepreneur, being a successful contributor to the community. You're part of the YPO regional board, and of course, being in family business, contributing there. So how does it feel to have it all, and what have your learnings been? Like we said, everything is about learning. Yes. So please feel free to share 2 or 3 learnings that could be good takeaways for people hearing this.
So I think, I'll start with the ones that I always question myself. Am I in resistance? And am I in attachment? So I realized that 2 of the areas that limit me from connecting to the higher sources of knowledge, because we keep talking about the brain and facts and information. I honor that and I accept that. Of course, we've got such an amazing organ in our heads that gives us a lot of information and calculations and stuff, and I would use it, but there's so much more out there. So when I am in resistance or in attachment, which I'll explain a little bit more, and if I'm doing that, then I am not allowing myself to tap into infinite knowledge. So I might think that I need to go this direction. And this is the deal I want, or this is the person I want in my life, or and that's it. So I'm attached to this, I'm attached to that specific outcome. And I'm in resistance to everything else. I don't want nobody else, or I don't want no other deal. When we do that, we are limiting ourselves from the infinite possibilities. So although I think this is the best way, maybe it's not. It doesn't need to feel good to be going in the right way. And sometimes God, universe, source, whatever it is to you, wants you to change directions. So if you're in resistance and attachment, you don't. So today, a lot of times when I'm making a decision, I find myself insisting on something, I stop and I'm like, Deena, are you in attachment or resistance? And I really take a pause and I think about it. And it has guided me in business, it's guided me in friendships, it's guided me in every area of my life. So that's one thing that I think is major, going with the flow, the power of love, and the ability to influence with love. Like, life has become so easy right now because I accept everything as it comes, even if it's not good, as an opportunity to grow, as a need to change directions, to find something that's better.
So, as a business owner and of course as an entrepreneur, and I've been in the family business, I have been an entrepreneur in my fashion business. So, do you think people view leading with love as a weakness? Because my second book is about this. And what shall we tell those people who think it is a weakness? How can we show them?
It's heartbreaking when you know it's not a weakness, when you know that it's power, because I used to think it's a weakness. Like, for example, a flavor.
How does it impact your bottom line, if I may ask?
Oh my God, opportunities that come to me now that I'm in a state of flow, in a state of, which is more of the energies of love, a flavor of love, I wouldn't have thought are possible. The people that come into my life and the things that are happening, it's just magic. I believe in magic. And I think we had a conversation where you told me you believe in magic.
I believe in magic, yes.
There are things that are happening that are unexplainable. So it affects everything, from my bottom line to my personal life in every way. But you were asking me about love and as a weakness. And I want to talk about vulnerability. So vulnerability is another flavor of love. It's another part of the energies that are associated with the energy of love. And people think, if I tell you be vulnerable, instantly you'll feel like you want to protect yourself. What do you mean be vulnerable? I'm weak if I'm vulnerable.
Yeah.
But vulnerability is actually courage. And that's another thing I've learned, and I know you know, because I know you know because of your book and all the things that you've done. But it's, when we are being vulnerable, we're taking away the wall that we built to protect ourselves. When we take away the wall, you allow blessings to come in. You also allow a stab to the heart to come in. But if you put up the wall, you are going to prevent the stab to the heart, anything that you don't want. Because now you're not meeting people, you're not talking to people, you're not telling people anything, you're protecting yourself. You're so protected, you have your armor up. Nothing is going to come hurt you.
Correct.
But the price you're paying is nothing good is going to come in either. Is that the life we want?
Yeah, and are you? My question would be: are you living?
Are you living? Yeah.
So are you? Are you actually alive when you're not vulnerable? I so agree with you.
Oh my God, vulnerability is a
strength.
superpower.
Yes, it is.
It's a strength, but people look at it as weakness. Love, people look at it as weakness. Feelings, that people look at them. Intuition is part of feelings. So it's so sad that all these powerful things have been looked at as weaknesses. Now, all of these things are available to men and women, to masculine energy or feminine energy when I talk about it, but they are generally feminine traits. I think also we don't live our full potential because of the fear of other people's judgment. Like, oh, if I lead with love or if I talk about love, people are going to be like, oh, this person can't be successful. She can't be a doer. She can't be, what is she talking about? This non-measurable stuff that we're doing. The thing is, that's what courage is as well, is to step in and say, I believe in this and I'm going to put it up. So a lot of the things I say, I know because I was them, the people that would look at me and roll their eyes. I was them. And I know 4 years ago, if I knew I was going to talk like that, I'd be like, oh my God, no, please don't do that. Don't destroy everything you've created. And I remember as well that when I first started my journey into the feminine, I told my teacher, I don't want to get into this feminine feeling stuff, love, because vulnerability because I've built so much in my business, I don't want to give it all away. I saw it as weakness. The opportunities I have now, the business that I have now, the expansion that I have now in the past 3 years has not been anything like the 14 years of business that I've been doing. Like, it's so much more, it's so much better.
So it just got better. Your business, your relationships, yourself, your relationship with yourself, it all just got better when you started accepting yourself, leading with the heart and loving your business, your people and everything, right?
It's like, if it gets better, it gets better. And it keeps getting better. And then you're like, oh my God, it can't get better than this. And it gets better than that. It's like, it's just when you get bliss, you get more bliss. It's not, there's this infinite amount and there's no end to it. There's no lack. You live in abundance and I just wish it for everyone. It's their journey when they're ready to take it, and they have to embody it and they have to practice it, but it's a beautiful place. But love is strength. Vulnerability is strength. going with the flow is strength. It's when you're trying to control everything, you're living in fear. When you go on the flow, you have trust. It takes strength to have trust.
Correct.
So it's actually a very powerful space.
And what's the advice you would like to give fellow women entrepreneurs or women who work and who want it all?
Okay, I love that. So I love this topic because I was a woman behaving in business predominantly from my masculine because I wanted to be accepted. But it's like if we understood being a woman, okay, so society teaches us that the men's way or the masculine way is the right way. No feelings, not no feelings. Men have feelings, but like don't use your feelings when you're making business decisions, and it's all about calculations and stuff. It's
logic, right?
Yeah,
they call it logic. It's not emotions. That's what they tell me. If I ever like say something too feeling like, so they're like, let's use logic here, Meher,
exactly.
So I was like, but I find this logical also. Exactly. Leading with my heart is logical.
I love that you say that. I love that you say that. See, the way I explain it is that, okay, imagine if there was a lion and an eagle. They're both out to get prey.
Correct.
So the lion is going to run and is going to like sit there and hide in a bush and try to get the prey. If the eagle, which I use as the feminine and the masculine as the lion, if the eagle decided to hunt like a lion, how far will the eagle go? And how miserable will the eagle be? The eagle has the power to fly, has eyesight that is better than the lion's, has powers of her own. The lion has powers and are beautiful of their own. If we try to become them, we are living in misery, trying to hunt by being an eagle, trying to run to hunt. Life becomes so much harder. But if we own who we are, even if society says, oh my God, flying is suck, it's horrible. Like flying, that's so bad. I mean, eyesight, what are you going to do with eyesight? I can see the prey right here, but I can see it from up there and I can fly. So I'm powerful because of those things that I have. So let me use my powers. Why do I have to shift my power? Why, if I'm a circle, why do I want to fit in a box, in a square? Like I'm a circle. So if we tap into our own power, and if we honor,
accept ourselves, honor
our own powers, and even if society is and it's nobody's fault, and it's nothing has been done to us. I really believe most of the things women have done that are happening to the feminists done it to ourselves.
I agree.
I mean, but it's that lack of awareness. So let's become aware now. Let's change it. It's that.
Accept yourself, be yourself, live yourself.
Exactly. And be in love with yourself. Yeah, and what you do, you're like, it's logical to me that it doesn't feel right. And if women stood there and said, it doesn't feel right, and that intuition is as valuable as your data, we have balance in the world. We've got data that's powerful, and we've got track records, and we've got feelings, and we put them, and this is the life I'm in now. I use this and I use this.
Yeah, absolutely. We use both.
We ignore one and we use one. It doesn't serve the masculine or the feminine, men or women or children. It doesn't serve anybody.
I agree.
And we suffer and we don't have a fulfilled life. We are exhausted. Like today, I could work for 16 hours and I feel energized. At times I can't sleep because I'm working on Simply Divine here and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I am using the masculine knowledge and calculations and stuff and using my feminine creativity and it's fuel. There's energy. I don't come back drained.
I agree. I actually had this conversation with my team and also my brother about burnout. People keep talking about burnout. So I feel that when you're in love with your life, when you're in love with yourself, when you're in love with your work, how can burnout even happen? Like there's obviously some misalignment.
Absolutely.
And hence you are feeling the burnout. Otherwise, life should be a ride of joy, I feel. And in all areas of your life.
Yes, and with that, even if something happens that doesn't feel good, if you are in the present of it all and understand that, oh, maybe it's a change of direction, or maybe it's a lesson I have to learn. Even that bad thing that's happening, you're going to feel like, whoa, okay, what am I supposed to look at? Instead of being sucked into the energy of sadness and
how we could have done better. Victim.
Oh my God,
yes.
Yeah.
The victim mentality,
which giving a lot of your power.
Yes.
Completely. Being a victim is just giving away your power completely. This is what's happening to me. Like I cannot do anything about it.
Yeah.
No. But anyway. So
yeah.
It's a lot.
No, I've again mentioned this in my book that I live like a victim. I thought things were happening to me. I thought I'm here to be punished. I'm a victim of everyone around me. I felt that for a lot of time in my life, and then when finally I understood that it's just a mentality and I have the power to shift it and become a victor. So my first chapter says from victim to victor. So when I gained that awareness and I started actioning my awareness, that's when I became a victor. So anybody can do that. If I can do it, anybody can. So I truly believe nobody is here to be a victim. No. You're nothing but you're only the victim of your own thoughts and nothing else.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. It's you know what's the challenging thing about these things that I've learned? They're so simple, they're hard. It's because they're so simple. It's because it's like people don't realize that you can take your power back in so many, it's just by loving yourself, just by not being in attachment, not being in resistance to life, to flow. It's so easy to live like that. But people expect having this much bliss to be a lot of hard work and torture. It's like very simple concept.
Yes.
So being a victim to a victor is something that you could shift with your awareness.
Yes.
I choose not to be. It's that simple.
Yes.
But it's so hard for so many people.
Yeah, I agree. So we are in the new year. What are your goals for this year, 2023?
Grow some more. Seriously, it's been my work and my family has been the priority of my life all my life. For the past 3 years, the priority of my life is my growth. So
spiritual growth,
spiritual growth, yeah. Spiritual growth, but you grow in that area and everything else prospers.
Success is something you attract by the person you become, like Jim Rohn said. That
yes.
it's when we work on ourselves, we attract all successes from all areas of our life.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. And we wish you more growth and we wish you more success and more light to shine bright and spread your spread your light to everyone you meet, because I know I've heard such amazing things from everyone for you. So God bless you and keep growing and keep shining.
Thank you, and thank you for what you're doing, for shows like this, for speaking this truth, for spreading it, and for standing there for it. So you're amazing.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Thank you. So thank you for watching this episode of the Come Alive podcast. I'm sure you loved the show with Deena and Ansari as much as I loved being here. Leave us a like, comment, subscribe, share it with whoever needs to hear it. And lots of love. See you soon.